Guys, oh, I dropped you. Check this out. So, as you can tell from, I'm not even going to try and hide what I'm doing. As you can tell from the title, and I apologize, I'm a little sick. I've actually been drinking rum this morning to just kind of help my throat. It actually helps my throat, not being an alcoholic. If you drink rum, just remember, if you drink rum before noon, you're not an alcoholic. You're a fucking pirate. I said that in my Instagram live feed. So obviously from the title, you guys know what I'm about to talk about. This is younger brother. So we're going to talk about the Archbishop 2.0. And I'm going to tell you right now, guys, they are so close in quality. But what you get in this is the same thing that Elliot tried to do with all of his knives is he's added some features that are a little bit different than the original, but did not detract from. This knife is, like, if the lines of this knife are the same. I mean, they are the same. As if you saw the picture that is the thumbnail, they are the same, exactly. So, with that being said, we're gonna take a look at this. I am gonna figure out how to get this turned around and down. My tripod finally fell down again, so we're doing this. You guys are currently, I'll show you what you guys are on. My current tripod is a thing of Kirkland's Choice Colombian coffee. So I have a guy in Canada that has offered to replace my tripod, and I believe I might take him up on the offer. So Robert, if you're watching, I will get with you about it. So, I mean, I felt kind of conflicted about it at first and things like that, but there are some people that don't do the Patreon thing, and if they want to support the channel, you know, that's fine. But I feel bad because Robert also is the guy that provided me with the microscope. So, you know, I don't want to feel like I'm taking advantage, but I also know that there's people that do want to support the channel. And I mean, I've asked other people about this and they're like, dude, just, I mean, if they want to support, allow them to. It allows, it strengthens the community. It really does. It strengthens our community, the Crazy Sharp community. So back to what I was talking about, the Ferrum Forge Design Fortis 2.0. Now, if you set these knives right next to each other, the lines are identical. Now, what you do have some differences is, and we'll try and get this turned around and take a look at it. We'll see if we can do it from our current position, which I don't think we can. I'm gonna have to flip you. So what you get is the same size, and depending on the scale pattern, about the same weight. This is the cut through. So if you look at mine, does that look familiar? It looks a lot similar, doesn't it? It's basically, they did some cut through work. This knife is way lighter than this one. Not that this one's heavy, because when you get the balance, the balance is just, I don't know how he did it. The balance is identical. It sits the same open, but it is so much lighter than this in hand. So what you've got is, and this one is a prototype, I apologize. This is the prototype, but there aren't that many differences between the production and the prototype. So what you get is, we'll walk through it. You get a titanium, full titanium scales, M390 steel, ceramic detent ball and bearings, reversible pocket clip. You can put this right or left carry. Equated a lot to something like this Benchmade, where you have the availability, or some Spyderco's where you have, Spyderco's good about giving you 4 points. And the big difference that guys like Nick Shabazz and some of the other people that complain about it is this single-sided pivot that they use on their in-house knives. This is a double-sided pivot. Lock bar insert that is hidden. You only see the screw. And guys, it is smooth. Plus you get these sexy patterns. The pocket clip is a sculpted pocket clip. Like I said, I'm not a fan of the sculpted pocket clip, but in and out of pocket, this one's not bad. I definitely have had worse. Some of the things that, if you look at the flipper tabs, they are really, really similar, but Elliot has added some jimping. And the big one is Instead of barrel spacers, this has a full back spacer. Now, some people like a full back spacer. It depends on the person. I will tell you why I always liked them when I was at work and I was working for the government. I used to have to carry so many things in my pocket that there were times where change or keys or things like that would get up in here and dink up against the edge. On this knife, not such a big deal. There's a good bit of distance, but on something more like a Sabenza, where you can actually, I can feel my finger touching the blade, that's not the best choice. But, so what we're gonna do is, we are going to find a way to stand this up, get it propped up. I have a small old tripod we can probably do it with, like a desktop tripod, and we're gonna take a good look at this knife with the front camera where you guys can see it from overhead. All right, guys. So, it's a matter of perspective. One will look bigger than the other. These knives are exactly the same. So, we'll take a quick look at this. This is the prototype, as I said, one of the prototypes, but there have been no major changes. This is what you are going to get. So you're gonna get, depending on your choice of preference, you're gonna get stonewashed titanium. Some of them are rounded, some of them are chamfered, some of them are not, but you get some jimping. You have a finger opening hole that is really pretty much the same as the original, and an action that is super, super smooth. It just flies open. The finish on these are really good. Reversible pocket clip, there's your pocket clip. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of sculpted pocket clips, but these ones are not bad. They're a lot like the video I did the other day about the Reat Horizon D. Blade finishes and things like that are pretty much standard, but you do have, Elliot has added jimping, which was something that other people wanted. So there's jimping on a finger flipper, there's jimping on the spine, there is a full back spacer that has jimping on it. So if you look at my original, there wasn't any jimping on the finger flipper, on the spine. I'm cool with that. I don't need jimping. I'm not in a situation where I would need jimping. But if you look at the lines of these knives, they are the same. The line of that knife and the line of this knife, the shape is pretty much identical. So what you're getting is, this knife cost me $700. This knife is every bit as good at less than $3. So let me ask you a question. Where do you think your value sits? I think it sits here. The other thing too is that I honestly have to agree that for the average guy, the maintenance on this knife is going to be easier because the pivot allows you the opportunity to put 2 bits in here. Now, I haven't taken one of these apart. I do know that the Falcon and things like that, one of these screws was longer than the other. So that's one of the things that has been, people complain or people take, I've had people take apart knives and then send them to me for reassembly, and it simply was the matter that they reversed these or got one of these up here, because some of these holes are different lengths. So one of these screws is actually longer on the Falcon and things like that than the others. So, you know, but when you look at the finish that We Knives does, I love their stonewash on stuff. I'm gonna probably have that finish on my knives when they make them. So, blade dimensions, blade geometry, pretty much the same. I think maybe this is a tiny bit thicker, and I think the grind on this comes up a little thinner than this one does. You can see that there's a little bit less material on this area here than there is on this one. Now what that equates to is, I don't know if you guys watched my video about this, your blade thickness at the edge and behind the edge is going to be determined by how far back you start your grind. So there's more distance from here to here, there's more of a chance to thin that edge out. And I'm not going to lie to you, the actual production ones that came in are incredibly sharp, like frightening. This is a little bit thicker behind the edge, you can feel it, than this is, because that edge comes back a fair bit further. If you look at the profile, like how much more material's here than there is here, there's been a lot more material removed off of this than there has on this. Now, this knife is not that thick in comparison to a lot of the other Ferrum Forged knives, but it's a lot thicker than a lot of people's knives. And that's been a point of contention, but here's the thing. Elliot did things the way he wanted to, and they came out great. This is nice and sharp, nice and thin. This one was even more so because there's a lot more distance. This is my Master Blaster. So as far as the thinness behind the edge and slicing, this one actually has the edge above this one, but I would never trade this for anything. So yeah, guys, that's the prototype. We'll turn this back around and I will talk to you about places where you can get them and things like that. Just realized that I didn't, as I was editing, I am currently doing editing. We're at my computer. I did not realize until I took a look at this video that I did not tell you where you can get them. So right now they have these on Knife Center, Blade HQ, and I can't remember if Chris and Elliot have them on their website. But the fact is there's several places to get them. There's several vendors. I believe there's a third vendor. But like if you want one, here's my recommendation. Go to Knife Center, Blade HQ. I can't remember what the other one is. There's a third retailer that is taking them. But Blade HQ has the largest number of them. So there you go. There's the places where you can get them. So these knives, I'm sorry, I bumped you, are a little bit different than the rest of the stuff. So these ones are the second in the Pro line, Pro series. Sorry, I didn't mean to say Pro line. I don't want to get boat company upset with me. So that's an inside joke. Some of you guys will get that, like 3 of us. So you basically, this is the second in the Pro series. So this is not being done through Mastrop. This is not being marketed by We. This is 100% Chris and Elliot producing these knives through We Knife Company to allow for a lower price point, but offering you knives that were extremely popular in their 200 piece runs that aren't costing, like I said, $700, less than $300. There's not a big quality difference. What there is I personally like the fact this was all done by hand. And that's the thing with why I have certain knives that I have, is the attention to detail that you can get this close, this good, by hand, when they're, not gonna lie, production knives have gotten to the point where they're better than customs. But in the case of these guys' knives, you're not seeing that. These are amazing. But you have a knife that is the same knife with a lot more flourish and flair to it, because I got news for you. They've got several different handle scale patterns of this that is every bit as quality a knife as this was, because you've taken some of the cost-intensive labor out of this and gets you the same thing. I mean, look at them. They are the same. And when I say that, I don't just mean that they look the same. The quality that Chris and Elliot are demanding out of these, and I can say this because I've been there and I've seen it. I've seen the QA that goes into these. They QC and QA all of these knives in-house. So what you're not getting is, it's of a lower price point, so therefore it's lower quality. It's not. It really isn't. It is every bit as good as the original. It just doesn't have, I don't know, it just doesn't have certain, as a matter of fact, it has more. I don't know how to explain it. It's odd what they've been able to do with their production line, which is revitalize a knife that was loved but was at the $500 to $700 price point, and be able to offer it to people at the sub $300 price point. They basically cut their price in half and maintained the quality. I mean, it's basically the same material. It's basically the same. Some changes to the pocket clip, a little bit of a change to the cutout bar. Other than that, you just get that milling, that sexy milling where you get that pattern. So, guys, I don't want to drag this out anymore. I know you guys know that I love Ferrum Forged knives. It's not just because they're my friends. It's because they're quality knives. I would love to be able to give you the same review of, actually, I did a pretty good review of this one. This one came out amazing. Of other companies' knives, I just don't see them putting the heart and soul into it, except, like I said, if you watch my Instagram live feed, Tim Reeve actually contacted me about some of the issues with my Sebenza that I put up in a video. He's like, look, we'll take it back, fix it if you want. I was like, you know, at this point, really, it's not necessary. So there are companies out there that really, truly give a crap about the product they're selling you. Reeve Knives, We Knives, Ferrum Forge Knives, and there's others. There's a small company here in San Diego that I think is going to start making knives. Oh, the guys that make knives, Anza Knives. Holy crap, they take such pride in the stuff they put out. It looks rough and it's backwoods knives, but hey, they put their heart and soul into those knives up there that they make out of files, and it's hard work. I'm trying to get up there and get a video. So, guys, that's it. Not to pontificate and ramble on so heavily. I'm gonna keep saying it, guys. I appreciate the support I've gotten for my daughter's ice skating, but if you wish to support it in any way, there's a GoFundMe down below. It doesn't matter if you're giving $10 or $100. I appreciate all the support. And if you can't support, just do me a favor and copy the link and share it. She's doing amazing. She really is doing amazing, and all of her coaches are looking at her going, I can't believe that she's doing this well. So if you want to do that, and then like I said, if you guys want, the Patreon link will be down this corner. I forget that it's reversed, so it'll be down in this corner. Patreon link, I mean, basically that's another way to support my daughter if you want to do it that way. I basically, all the money that comes from Patreon, except for this month where I'm gonna put a new top on, I can't be, is gonna go to my daughter's ice skating. So I love you guys. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like it, give it a thumbs down, but please try to tell me why, or give me some explanation that's not like brutal and abrasive and coarse and completely offensive. I will definitely address those. So like I said, that's it, guys. I love you guys. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. So guys, I just finished the edit on the video you're about to watch, and I remembered that there was something I wanted to say, and I know it's going to take me, it's going to add to the time of the video. But so I had someone comment in one of my videos, two things. They were like, oh, pushing on that 10-minute mark, got to get that YouTube money. Well, first of all, they were talking about me setting the length of my videos. So actually, I set the length of my videos at about 15 minutes. It has nothing to do with monetization or making money on my YouTube channel. I just happen to know that I will talk for hours if you guys let me. And so I keep an eye on the time, and I try to keep track of it because I watch the analytics, and I know that after about 12 minutes, I start losing people. So that's that. That's the answer to that. And this is at the beginning. I apologize. But the other thing is, they said something, oh, it must be getting paid because it was, I was talking about the Reat Horizon D, and I will tell you right now, by YouTube standards, they will watch your videos, and if you have a paid promotion, which shows up, they know if it's a paid promotion because you get sponsored, you have to note that. And if you don't, the video comes down. So they're really good about that. So I don't want you guys to think that the videos are 15 minutes just because I'm trying to make YouTube money. If I wanted to make YouTube money, I would make the video an hour and a half long and just add ad breaks throughout the thing. I don't control my ad breaks either. I just have it set for YouTube to add breaks based on the length of the video. So just in case you guys were wondering if that's why I keep the videos at about 15 minutes, I just know that that's about the length of the video that my average subscriber will watch the entire thing. That keeps me in that realm. And having done that, I see a lot more traffic on the channel, and nobody wants to watch a 45-minute video. So guys, just wanted to touch on base on that. So actually, I think I'm gonna put this at the end. This will be at the end of the video. So, all right, later.